Hey everyone, it's Brad, and I have a couple quick announcements before we kick off this episode. First, this is our 10th and final episode of Season 1. We're going to take a few weeks off for the holidays, and we'll be back on the air for Season 2 in January, so stay on the lookout for new episodes then. As you probably heard, we're giving a $25,000 grant to a deserving U.S. charity this Christmas, and there's still time to email us your suggestions to hello@crazygoodturns.org. Deadline for submissions is December 20, and be sure to check our website and social channels on Christmas Eve to find out which charity we've chosen. Finally, we just want to say thank you to all of you, our listeners. We honestly didn't know what to expect when we launched Crazy Good Turns last August, but we've been blown away by your support and feedback. I hope you all get to spend some quality time with your family and friends this holiday season, and maybe take a minute to do a crazy good turn of your own for someone who needs it. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and talk to you in a few weeks.
Could you tell me what it means to have a Christmas tree?
It means a lot. I'm very grateful for someone to actually give us a Christmas tree because I was wondering how we was going to go get one and how to celebrate the holidays this year. So I really appreciate it.
You think it sets the tone for the holiday?
Of course it does, and it gives my child an opportunity to see how people work together during the holidays for a good Christmas, to making sure you give back to the community as well as to, set the tone for kids because you never know what's going on in their home life.
Are you happy to have a Christmas tree?
Yes.
What are you going to put on it?
Some jingle bells.
That's our sound guy, Steven, talking to a woman at the Child Development Association, a preschool in Roswell, Georgia that offers affordable learning programs for children of low-income families. We were there last Saturday, braving the coldest day of the year, to watch Christmas tree Santas in action. They gave away more than 100 Christmas trees, along with tree stands, ornaments, and presents for the kids, to struggling families that otherwise can't afford the things many of us take for granted during the holidays. Today you'll meet founder Alex Gramling, hear about his inspiration for Christmas tree Santas, and how he and his merry band of volunteers have spread hope and joy to thousands of families across the country. This is Crazy Good Turns. We tell stories about people who do amazing things for others, and I'm your host, Brad Shaw.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel, when a poor man came in sight, gathering winter's fuel.
53-year-old Alex Gramling doesn't fit the mold of the philanthropist we've featured on Crazy Good Turns so far. He's got a full-time day job as chief marketing officer for a company called Healthcare IT Leaders. He lives a comfortable life with his wife and kids in the seacoast town of Newburyport, Massachusetts, a place he calls heaven. Nothing earth-shattering in his upbringing or his adult life led him to this calling. He describes himself as more spiritual than religious, although he does credit the Unitarian Church for his belief in the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. Nope, Christmas Tree Santas is the result of a decluttering exercise at Alex's house in 2010. Here's Alex.
I was cleaning out my basement about 7 years ago, and there was an artificial tree in the corner, and it was clutter. It was something I was going to get rid of, and so I didn't want to put it in a landfill, but I did want to get rid of it, so I listed it on a recycling website, freecycle.org. And I'll tell you about two things happened immediately after that were really life-changing and were the catalyst for the charity. The first thing that happened was within a day, I'd gotten over a dozen emails from people and families who wanted this Christmas tree, and that was really surprising to me. Why do people want this dirty old Christmas tree that I have in my basement? And many of them wrote very heartfelt emails. They weren't just, I'll pick it up at 3 o'clock. They were stories about their childhood and what this Christmas tree would mean to them. And they were very moving.
Ultimately, Alex chose a single mom to come and get the tree. She showed up at his house with her 2 young boys who were ecstatic as he loaded the tree in the car. But in talking to the mother and sensing her raw emotion about the tree, he says a light bulb went off in his head.
I realized this was not just, a mom and a family helping me doing some recycling. This was a struggling family who wanted but couldn't afford a Christmas tree. And here was my artificial tree that I thought was trash, and it was going to mean everything to this family. It was going to be the centerpiece of their holiday celebration. So that really turned my head around about the importance of a Christmas tree and what it meant to people. I had never really thought about it before. I'd certainly always taken it for granted in my life. And this family kind of put the face on all these emails that I was receiving. And I realized, of course, here's this unspoken, unmet need in our community. And there are probably hundreds of other families that are just like this, that want but can't afford a Christmas tree, and it means everything to them. And that was really the catalyst for the organization. That was the inspiration for it.
With that broader need in mind, Alex scoured the internet to find some organization that donated trees to struggling families so he could just write them a big check and feel better about helping out. He found plenty of food and toy drives, but no one giving away Christmas trees. So he decided to take matters into his own hands.
So I just realized that this was my challenge. You know, something in life, something about karma was bringing this to me and saying, solve this problem, do something about it. So I called my business partners in Atlanta, good friends of mine, and I said, I know this sounds crazy, but I think we ought to raise some money and buy a bunch of Christmas trees and give them away to poor people. Thank goodness they didn't hang up on me. They said, no, that sounds awesome. Let's do it.
That's cool.
It's 20 degrees, the snow on the trees makes the world look like crystal. Icicles.
So Alex and his business partners got a lawyer, officially registered Christmas Tree Santas as a nonprofit, and spent the next 6 months sorting out logistics for sourcing the trees, finding families in need, and connecting the two, all with the goal of giving trees away by that coming Christmas.
And we decided to do it initially in the communities where we lived and worked. I work in greater Boston, so we decided to do one in my hometown, and our businesses and my partners are down in Atlanta, so we decided to do one down there as well. And again, that first year was figuring out, gosh, how do you do this?
Luckily, the father of one of Alex's partners ran a Christmas tree lot, and he hooked them up with a tree wholesaler in Canada who gave them a good deal on the trees. They worked with local agencies in Boston and Atlanta to identify and vet families in need and provide them with vouchers for the trees. Then, as business people do, they designed the ultimate customer experience for their giveaway event.
And we wanted this to be festive, not transactional. A lot of families think they're going to drive up and have someone throw a tree in their car and they're going to drive away. And they're actually very surprised when they see Santa Claus, when they hear music, when they see food. We do an event in Boston where we do tractor rides, where there are animals, and it's crazy fun. And families come and they'll spend, a half an hour with us, with their kids, talking to Santa, petting animals, enjoying the day, picking out ornaments and lights for their tree.
That first year, Alex and his volunteers gave away 200 trees in Boston and 100 in Atlanta. Word spread through friends, family, and social media, and soon Alex was fielding emails from people all over the country wanting to help, including one unlikely Santa in Texas.
We had a story, a podcast actually covered us last year, and a listener who heard that podcast contacted me through email. He's a Jewish guy in Austin, Texas. He said, I'm Jewish, I don't celebrate Christmas, but I love this idea and I want to bring it to Austin. And this year we gave away 50 Christmas trees in Austin, Texas to benefit battered spouses and their children.
And is the Jewish guy still involved in the program? That's
they
awesome.
had a great year, and they're going to grow it next year.
This year, Christmas Tree Santas will give away its 4,600th tree through events in Massachusetts, Michigan, Texas, Georgia, New Jersey, North Carolina, and Utah. For someone who acknowledges the comfort of his own personal life, Alex's charity work has given him an appreciation for the hard choices many families face in their lives, particularly during the holidays.
And it really is a luxury and a cost. I think about the benefit for our families is emotional and economic. It's economic because a Christmas tree costs $40, $60, $100. A tree stand is another $10. Ornaments and lights are, $10 or $20. So you're talking about $100 maybe or $150 for, a very seasonal, short-lived product. And if you're trying to put food on your table or feed your family and make a choice between that and a Christmas tree, you're going to choose your shelter needs and food and pay the electric bill. So I think that's why so many of these families never have a tree each year, and it's just a luxury.
And in coming face to face with that economic dynamic, Alex's work becomes deeply personal.
I met a woman this year. She stays with me. I had to deliver a tree to her house because she couldn't make our event. And I took a tree to her, and her apartment was so small. I mean, as small as the studio we're in now. She's living in it with 2 children. All of her belongings are in bags all around the apartment floor. There's literally no place to put this tree down. The place is dark, low ceilings, no lights, and she's trying to get me into the house and out so she can go work, for 10 hours at a job that's going to pay her $10 an hour. So I was telling the story to my wife and telling her how sad it made me. And she said, you know what, but they're going to light up that Christmas tree, and there'll be light in that house for a little while. So you definitely feel the need when you talk to the families that we meet each year, and yet you're also inspired by them because, they're parents and they're working hard to just brighten the lives of their children and make their children feel loved and normal at Christmas.
Alex sees lots of struggle and suffering in his work, but he also sees hope and redemption. He told us a story about his wife's high school friend who came to get a tree 3 years ago after losing her job, getting a divorce, and just getting knocked down by life. She came again last year for a free tree. This year, though, things were different.
This year, she came back and she had a plate of brownies in her hands. And she said, you guys have been so great to me over the past 2 years. I just wanted to give back. So my wife said, that's terrific. I appreciate that. Now, do you want to go get a Christmas tree? And she looked my wife square in the eye and said, I don't need one. She had a huge smile on her face and she shook her head again. She said, I don't need a tree this year.
So she's back on her feet.
She is.
Yeah.
And that gives you hope.
Nothing short of a miracle that comes once a year.
Despair, hopelessness, job loss, poverty, these don't have to be permanent things. There's always hope. There's always hope. So everything about this is a hopeful exercise, and sometimes hope just comes in the form of a Christmas tree.
I'm Brad Shaw, and thanks for listening to this episode of Crazy Good Turns. Go to crazygoodturns.org to learn more about Christmas tree Santas and to submit your ideas for extraordinary people and organizations we should feature.
On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
You might have noticed we found some great music to support our podcast, and we've provided a Spotify playlist of the full tracks on our website so you can take a longer listen, which we hope you'll do. And if you're a band with a song we should consider featuring, you can submit it on our website too.
4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2.
Crazy Good Turns is audio engineered by Stephen Key. Music supervision and mixing by Score in Los Angeles. And a special thanks to Megan Basinger, as well as a special congratulations on the recent birth of her beautiful baby girl, Kingsley Greer. We hope you like our podcast and help us out by sharing us in your social networks and giving us a rating and review on iTunes. Take care, and let's connect again soon.
I don't have a Christmas tree yet. I'm maybe, like the cobbler's children doesn't have shoes. I just, every season, it seems like I wait until the last minute to get my Christmas tree.
Alex, you got to get off your ass, man. It's like, you got like 2 weeks.
It's not like I don't have faith.
4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle